Alrighty, quick one out in the shop, or maybe not quick. Finally going to get around to getting this four-wheeler done, get the new carburetor installed. Instead of rebuilding it, we're just doing a new carb because it was just as cheap as buying a kit when I bought it. Just a tiny bit more from Amazon, so it was crazy to buy a kit. So that's the quad behind me. Let's take it apart. We've got genuine Honda part. Nifty nifty. Even have my service manual. Don't think we're gonna need it. And let's go ahead. Try out the new dollies. Oh yeah, handy dandy. Just slide it with one arm across. We'll move it out underneath one of these lights, and we'll set up some lights, and yeah, let's get at it. I'll move this so it'll make a little bit more room. Seat. One new trouble light I just got from Amazon a few days ago. Really dirt cheap. Probably seen it in the mailbag, I think, by now. Yeah, I think that'll do. Yeah, that'll do. We've got our airline. Go ahead and blow things off, and we'll get started. Move you guys where you can get a little bit better view. Sweet. They say remove air cleaner first. I guess it's to get this big silly thing out of here. So I'll just go ahead and get into it. That bolt should be it for this side. Just pull that off. Take a look. Let's just see what we're up against once we get in there. Broke. Why don't you let go normal? Why are you such a pain in the arse? That comes off. One more down here. Two more. My father-in-law has my panel removal tool, which would make it a lot easier to get these apart. But side cutters work. Screwdriver works, but you end up stabbing yourself sooner or later. Bolt through from the bottom. That's what it feels like. Something. That's alright, we can take both sides off. I don't think we need to, but the instructions say we do. So I guess we'll pay attention to the book. Let's leave all these top ones in this time and just take this off. Take the whole side off. And just leave the tank cover as one piece. And we don't break that bolt or that tab again on this side. Alright. Gotta be one down under here yet. Oh. Looks like I lost a clip down there once upon a time. Probably when the fender got ripped off. There's a zip tie in it. I'm not factory. Come on. There. There. He thinks he's free. Yeah, there's one under the far side. That is a really dumb place for a clip. I don't think I'll even take that off. I really don't think there's any need, because our carb's right here. I don't see why we'd take all that other crap off. We just need this tube out of the way. We can find where the clamp is. There it is. Not the easiest to get at, but I think we can do it. Alright, that chunk's off. Just a hose clamp on the bottom. That should give us more access. Not all the way yet, but closer. This out of here. And we're totally into our carb now. Radio. Nothing to it. There we go. So, we're going to have some electrical connections. This is our throttle position sensor is going to have to go, and then there's probably one for carb heat, and some hose clamps, and that should be pretty much it. Not much to it after that. Loosen our clamp, holds it to our plenum. We can't easily yet because there's a hose in the way. We need some pliers. These bent needle nose are fantastic, as well as this hooky device. This is known as a hose removal tool. It's good for going around the carburetor if the boot is stuck, or cooling hoses, or whatever the case may be that you're working on. Let's see. Flip this clamp around. Clamps off. Our PCV vent is off. It just goes, actually, it's not a PCV vent. It just goes into the air breather. And that should allow us access to our hold down for the carburetor, our clamp, It's just hand tight as it should be. They don't need to be screaming tight. Take our hose removal tool, make sure our boot is free. It should be, it is. And on the other side here we've got a clamp for the carb on the intake. And of course it's a Phillips, not a hex head on the thing, which is totally stupid, but whatever. It's a Honda, so it just busted right loose, no problem. Not the end of the world. I should say, the symptom of this machine, why we're doing this, is a lean condition above idle on the main. It's like there's no power enrichment. What I think it is this vacuum diaphragm right here has failed. But I'm not positive on that, and truthfully I don't care because we have a whole new carb, and odds are I'm going to be able to fix this one at a later date, no problem. But for now, we don't have to worry too much. We just have to get all these lines off, and there is, it feels like, a float bowl drain line on the bottom, which should just come up with it. We have another clamp line here. This must be PCV. Stands for positive crankcase ventilation. I'm sure Honda has their own name for it. Let me see if we can switch to a better camera for you. Okay, now you can get a look at what I was doing. This is the first line I pulled out. This one down here underneath, this clamp down below. Come on. End of my finger is the next one we're going to pull. Throttle position sensor is unhooked. One more set of wires going down here. This will be carb heating. We have our throttle cable to unhook, and that looks like our choke here, which should just thread out, but we'll just get the carb up and out first. The fuel's been turned off in this for a year, so I imagine the float bowl is completely dry. We shouldn't have any mess or anything, but yeah, should be able to do this. Well, it's not the best camera angle, but it's the best we got at the moment. I'll get better angles here in a bit, I hope. Go ahead and pop this clamp that I showed you. Get that PCV line off. That will go back to our crankcase somewhere. Usually the top of the crankcase. Like on a car, it would be valve cover. There we go. This is in good shape. That clamp is capable of falling off. Nope, it's captured, so we're good. We got a carb that moves. That's a good sign. Now, can we get enough? It all depends on how flexible this boot is, whether we can get it off or not without having to slide the air cleaner back. Try loosening both ends of the boot and see if we can kind of collapse it, get it off the curb or the filter box. And it's coming off the filter box seemingly. Looking good. And our carb is free. Our carburetor is free. Except for one little line down the bottom. So we'll have to remember to put him on up first and cut it back a little bit. The nub's kind of not the best on it. Make sure we tuck that up where we can see it. The consequence of forgetting a line is when you get into the water, you're going to drown her. Alright. Boot off. Put a little scribe in case there isn't one for forward, just in case. Some of these things can be deceiving. They seem like they fit both ways, but they don't, and you'll get it wrong and spend a long time fighting with it and be very annoyed with yourself. Or at least I do anyway. Down here is our Looks like heater with no provision to unplug it. Oh, nice. Oh, we gotta go back in the harness and find a plug. Oh, that gas smells bad. Oh, crap. That smells very bad. It wasn't that bad before. Crap. Oh, that sucks. That means the tank's gonna be full of schmoo. Oh. Well, yeah, that's really bad. Damn it. Oh well, at least it's a plastic tank. I'll pause you for a minute. Okay, here's our new carb. Let's just check it over before we go any further. You see this? Yeah. A little better? There, that's a little better. Okay. Throttle position sensor. Looks good. Fuel inlet, and it comes with an inlet strainer inside that line right there, which is good. Our PCV kind of dealio here. Good. Vacuum line sealed off. That's going to be float bowl ventilation, I suppose. Good. The other line going to the bottom of the quad with the check valve with a floater. That's the drain line for the float bowl. It's good. Actually, that's really good. That comes with a whole new long one. We'll save that. She looks identical. And then this is what I wanted, was to see where our heat plug was. So it must be way up here under this fender somewhere, and I'm gonna have to go digging for it. But heater's the same. Everything, it looks great. It's, thank you Honda for getting it right. That's wondrous. So let's get that heater off. So it looks like this guy right here. Does it just do a big loop and come right back here? Need a bolt out of the way. This is probably why they said take the whole freaking airbox and everything off, just to get this one line, but I can get it. That's where our hose remover tool is going to come in handy. I can stick this right down in there and pop it, I think. Maybe. Come on. You just got a loop. Bastard. There. Got it. Okay, what else we got? Choke should just thread out of there. Okie dokie. This line should just be a plunger for the power enrichment jet. Should just come right out of there, and we can probably just transfer it right onto the new carb right away. So you can see what I'm doing. Should just be spring-loaded plungy if I remember Honda's right. Okay, it does come with kind of a whole new boot and a spring. Oh, and a jet. It comes with everything. Oh shit. except the spring is now gone to a better place. So the spring must be living in this one still. Nope. Huh. Interesting. No spring. But there clearly was in the new one. Okay, let's see if we can find it. There it is. That's because I don't think that spring goes underneath the plunger. I think it comes with the spring, but the spring normally lives inside of here. Yeah, see, there is the spring up inside. So we don't need that. So it's already here because we're going to reuse this one. There's nothing wrong with this. There's no point in wrestling that all the way off that cable, messing around with it. I might just pause the video because I'm not sure how many people are going to watch this all the way through, especially with the lack of lighting going on here. I can see the camera struggling. Well, I guess I can let the camera roll. I can always trash the footage later. It's no bueno. Make it a little easier to thread in. It's plastic threads into aluminum and it keeps wanting to start crooked. Feels good, but I can see it's crooked. That would be the end of our new carb. Actually, it's going to just destroy the plastic, which technically we have a spare. Straight this time. Yes. Felt good every time, but it wasn't. Now, we may need to tighten that up in place. Alright, take two, because I just went ahead and put it back on the original carburetor. That was dumb. Alright, new carb. Slide that puppy in there. See if we can get it to cinch down. There she goes. Good stuff. Really can be hard to start things like this straight without cross threading them. You just gotta take your time and feel it, and don't ever start it with a wrench. Always start things with your fingers. Always, always. Okay. Now, that still pivots no matter what position it's put in, so we can snug it right up. Done. Next, throttle cable. Okay. Let me get him out of there. Phillips screw, by the looks of it. Let's compare the two, make sure they look identical. I'll go ahead and take this drain line off the bottom and save him for another day. Adjuster, adjuster, primer, primer, line, line, vent line coming back up this way. It's perfect. It's Kian, made in Japan, Kian, made in Japan, identical, identical, identical. So what we want is to just pop this screw out of here, hopefully. And I don't know whether it's that screwdriver's just got too many miles on it, but that doesn't work. Try again. Number one seems to get more purchase on it, but Oh, yeah, that don't want to come. Ugh. I loathe hammering on carburetors, but this is the only choice we have. There she goes. It's all it took. One chappy tap tap. This other one should come off a little easier than it does. That's good. Take this cover off. Now we can see what's going on in our throttle. It's just nothing to it, it's just simple throttle cable. This one out. Get our hissing air ratchet out of here. If I'm gonna make more videos, I'm gonna have to get some lighting set up. If I'm gonna do more out here, I should say. Which I will. Okay, I think that's gonna be 12 or 13 mil probably on that throttle cable. Oof. Definitely not 13. Ugh. 12 mil? What the? Wow, that was way off. That's too big to be 10. Ugh. No idea. Alright. It is 10. Really? God, that looked way bigger than 10 mil to my eyes. So what happens when you're out of the trade for a while? Your eyes start slipping, deceiving you. So we got just the jam nut removed, and then we should be able to thread the whole cable up and out of the carb. Slide the cable out of its holder and into the new carb, and then we'll set the play in it right now before we do anything else. So there, cable out, cable out, cable in, cable in. It's still got just a tiny bit of lube on it, and then we'll thread it in to our new carburetor. Handy dandy. It's nice. There's no goopies or anything in here, and I know I've had this thing up to its eyeballs in water, so it seems to have sealed quite well, which is nice. Okay. A little bit of play. I'm just feeling the throttle cable up top and just setting it, so there'll be a spec in the manual, but we want just a smidge of play. Alright, that feels about right to me. I left maybe a 1/16 of an inch. I want to talk distance, just enough where if I tap on it, it takes up, it just wiggles this, and then yeah, that should be just about right. Jam nut's tight. We'll move the cover down over it. There, that looks good. Now we'll put our cover back on. Our new cover. Oh. Cover just slots down in. I'm actually surprised there's no sealant on it, but whatever. Honda knows best. Clearly they did good because there was nothing in there. New screw. hold down. And that's it. That's our old carburetor off. Gone. We can take it apart and do a post-mortem on it, but I think it's going to be that top gasket. And before we hook any fuel lines up, actually, I'll hook the lines up, but I'm still just going to drain all the gas out of this thing, anything that's left in this tank, before I ever put any of that crap into this new carburetor. 'Cause that sucks, whatever's in there. Okay, now we should have throttle position sensor wiring, this big long harness that will snake through. Actually, we'll sneak it through right now because it went up and over the carb. Excuse me. Excuse me. It went right under this hold down, but we're ready to, we can just go ahead. What I usually do is just put a little bit of WD-40 in the boots before we sneak this in. It'll just make it a little easier to slide into place. There's already a bunch of gas in there too. Put a little bit on the air breather, and then we'll do that other boot before we slip it in there. This should allow it to just slide right on. You can do hoses too. Just don't use anything that'll attack the rubber, because otherwise you'll never be able to get them back off again. Now it's going to be mission critical that this carburetor's assembled level, so you're obviously going to want to make sure that you do that right. There's probably, knowing Honda, there's probably a key built into the boot. It doesn't seem to be. Oh, there is. Yeah, there is, of course. Honda. So that's where it sits. We'll go ahead and put things on. I won't tighten the carb down until after we've started putting some lines on and stuff, until we've got all the lines on. That way we can rotate the carburetor as we see fit to get any of the lines on or do any of the work around it. Easy peasy. And then we'll just tighten up the hose clamps, put everything back together, done deal. I'm going to pause the camera here for a bit. Alright, so I videoed a bunch, but I forgot I turned my radio on in between, so copyright strike for sure. So here's where we pick up. The carb's in, everything's terminated to it. None of the plastics are bolted down or fastened down yet. I'm gonna fix that battery terminal. The bolt's almost rotted right away. Anyway, what I'm doing is down here is our new carb, way inside there. And I've loosened the float bowl drain, and I'm draining into this pan under here. Unfortunately, there's 3/4 of a tank in the monster, so I think I'm going to have to try and pump some out. I'm just draining into the pan to have a sniff of it and see whether it's any better than what's in the carburetor. Because what's in the carb is really bad, but the tank doesn't smell that horrible. The tank, I think I put fresh stuff in it last year when I was trying to get it running, and there must have been some left in the bottom of the carb. So either way, I'm going to find out. We'll get it out of there. We'll get some good high test in there, and yeah, we'll go from there. I think before we run it, I'm going to have to drain it. I don't think I have a choice here, so we'll maybe get a pump together and start draining. Alright, I'm going to try one of these little siphon pumps I bought. I think I bought this at my local TSC. Never tried one before, but yeah, that gas in there is garbage. It is well and truly garbage. So we'll see if we can get right down to the bottom. It's kind of a interesting shaped tank. Yeah, it's tough to tell when I'm at the bottom. We'll give her some squeezes here and see if anything comes out. It's supposed to be a siphon pump. I can hear it sucking air. That's no good. There we go. She's running. I don't know for how long, but we'll find out. Alright, we drained that full jerry can out, and I've got the float bowl drain loose, and we're still dripping here. that's after I drained it, I should say. I filled it back up with some high quality, high test, no ethanol fuel. So I'm just flushing what's in the lines. Switched it over to reserve on the tank. That way you can draw right from the bottom and flush all the cruddies out. So in theory, we should have nothing but new gasoline in here. I'm going to close off that float bowl vent and we're going to try it. I don't know why I keep calling it the vent. It's the drain. I don't know. Just something wrong in my brain sometimes. Look at that wonderful pea-colored stuff. So that was mostly from the beginning when I first drained the fuel, and on top of it is some of the fresh high test. The dirt came with the pan. Well, camping pans. They make great drain pans. So, in theory, what we should be able to do, I've closed the drain, and down in here on the Hondas is a primer. So if you have not had the engine running in a long time, you're supposed to activate that primer, that black knob right down there. So we're going to activate that a few times and just pump some fresh fuel into the carb. Float bowl is definitely full. And I'm just going to hit it. Feels, oh yeah, nice. Good pump. You can feel it the first 3 times it was just pumping air, and then it just went solid. It's good. I want to try it. Let's see what happens. Shows that we got a tiny bit of fuel in it. I've got the selector on reserve, so we're fine. Neutral. Contact. One offer right before that battery is just about toast. It's been a long time. Maybe go ahead and plug it in. I don't want to wreck it. I'm surprised it's still going. Alright. Battery charger's on. It's taking a charge. Kind of, sort of. It was cycling. There we go. These old Everstart, this form factor of battery charger, these are great. Non-computerized. So basically you can trick it. If your battery won't take a charge, you can just parallel another battery up and just trickle charge them and bring them right back, usually, if they're not frozen and split or the cells aren't damaged. But this one was just about toast over winter. Full charge my arse. Yeah. What happens is this the display, the keep alive memory for the clock on this quad does draw the battery low over time, and yeah, not good. So I didn't maintain it over the winter, and it was flat dead this spring. So that battery might be hooped, but we'll see if we can bring it back. The old Everstart usually does pretty good, so we'll give it a few minutes and then we'll try again. Alright, I'm impatient as hell, so we're going to see if we can get this to go. Hey, just don't wait for anything. We can let that battery charge up later. I want to know if this thing's going to run. And we're going to find out. Choke still, we probably don't need much. It did offer, so here we go. We're alive! Idle speed is definitely too low. Adjust that. There we go. The idle is just a knob down on the side of it here. You guys must be shaking around. Sorry about that. That knob right down there. Come on now, focus. Come on. That knob right down on the side, the black knob, that's your idle adjustment. So it's just a matter of giving that a tiny tweak and we's in business. Ha! She's happy. Sounds just like a Honda should. Sounds wonderful. Smooth. Steady. I'm eating exhaust, so time to shut it off and we'll get it cleaned up. Go from there. We'll let that battery charge up, not on ridiculous high charge, Whew, stinks in here. There must have been a little tiny bit of that bad fuel stuck in the bottom of the float bowl. You can smell it. But not bad. Oh, we're still on a tiny bit of choke, actually. That probably wasn't helping things. The Hondas are really tolerant to having a little bit of choke on. Normally it'll just it'll just creep its way off, especially if you're on the throttle a fair bit. But this new one doesn't quite do the same as my old one. I like this a little better. It stays on. So I inadvertently left it just a tiny bit on. So she was a little rich. But we'll go ahead and let that battery charge up. Go ahead and clean that negative terminal. We're going to give it a little bath because I got overspray of the garage paint all over the place. I got to finish fixing the pressure washer. So in a future video, the compressor shut off. We'll go ahead and take that carb apart and take a look and see what was in there, whether it was just something in the high speed or what. But overall, we're rocking. The new shop is working out pretty well. Click a thumbs up if you managed to stick around this long, if you like what I'm doing here, if you like me fixing things, repairing things, building a new shop. Consider hitting me up on Patreon. Links at the end or down below. I really appreciate it. It helps fund these kind of videos, and we'll get out, maybe even take this thing for a ride at some point. And yeah, we're winning. One more big machine fixed up. Success. Thumbs up. Check this out. We'll end this off here. This is after it's cooled down for quite a while. No choke, no nothing. That's the way a Honda should run. That's the way most Hondas do. A little bit of TLC. Happy, joy.